Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Final Destination 3, starring Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Ryan Merriman, Chris Lemche, Alex Johnson, I don't know if I'm saying that right, please forgive me, Sam Easton, Jesse Moss, Gina Holden, Texas Battle, Sheelan Simmons, and Crystal Lowe, and directed by James Wong. Now, is this the movie that he should have not done? Like, should he retire from the series right after this? Let's get into this and find out. I didn't see this in theaters, but we'll see if there's a good reason why I didn't go to theaters and waited till video to see this thing. Let's get into it. We open with the carnival fair on a ride called the High Dive as Wendy Christensen, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and her friends Kevin Fisher, Carrie Dreyer, and along with her boyfriend Jason Wise, are there for a grad night party along as they go on a ride with the devil. As Wendy has a deja vu feeling, and as she goes on the ride, while someone who graduated 2 years ago, named Pervert Frankie, let's call him, because he has a video camera on the ride and wants to see a girl's cleavage, let's call it. And how fucking stupid is this guy? As one guy puts his camera in his pocket and he hides it from the staff and takes it over out as the ride begins, and the rides break apart and people do die, and some not good deaths in my opinion, as Wendy will witness death from her eye and has a meltdown and gets people off the ride and sees it actually happening. And all of this happens in the first 21 minutes of the movie, as it took way too long to get to the death scene. On graduation day, Wendy just gets her diploma and leaves the school, while Ian, I think I'm saying this right. Oh, it's Ian that I'm not Kevin Fisher, but Ian tries to tell her about the events from the first film that happened 6 years ago, and this plot has got to be the worst when it comes to the series, in my opinion. Wendy's sister Julia takes her grandmother's bracelet, as Wendy is guilty about Jason's death, and the acting in this thing is not very believable. Meanwhile, two girls named Ashley and Ashlyn, kind of a coincidence, I guess, go get a tan before they get killed by the turning up the temperature on the machine and leaving their drinks in the room, and the owner Yuri keeps getting calls from his boss, and the drink eventually spills while Wendy looks up the first two movies' deaths from 6 years ago. And this movie is so fucking stupid. It was such terrible fucking choices. Wendy realizes Ashley and Ashlyn are next on the death list as the heater gets warmer and they fly and burn to fry and burn to death, which is kind of a silly death. And at their funeral, the priest says something that not Ian, but Kevin Kevin has a meltdown about it while bringing her date Aaron, while Wendy didn't wish to show her face there and talks with Ian, and the shots are absolutely terrible. And the performances are just bad, including Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who I really like as an actress after Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. But not here, nor in Grindhouse, where she made very little impression. But here, this is her worst acting performance of her career. Kevin gets food with Wendy as his driving almost killed him. As they go to the drive-thru, they look at the pictures and don't pay attention to the drive-thru, and they try to get out of the truck as other trucks almost kills Ian and Wendy, but kills other people, including Frankie, for example, who was in front of the line before his death occurs. Kevin tells Frankie to move up, but Frankie flips him off like an asshole he was, as everyone is horrible in this movie. Wendy and Kevin tell Luis Romero's he's next on the death list as they visit him at the gym, and works out behind the swords with an X marked, with the radio falling down on the drinking fountain, and the swords almost fall down and kill him, and Lewis thinks he cheated death, until his head gets smashed by a machine at the gym. And that death was completely stupid as hell, as this is the stupidest movie in this entire series as far as I'm concerned. We move on to Ian and Aaron. Well, not Ian, but what the fuck was his name? Kevin and Aaron, as he fuck me. Ian and Aaron, let's just continue calling them, at work as he triggers the staple gun and shoots at a pigeon to scare him away as Ian kills one, which is so bad in general and badly shot in my opinion anyways. Wendy and Kevin talk with Ian and Aaron as they warn them about their deaths coming, and they treat it like a joke and laugh at Wendy and Kevin, while Ian is the worst stalker I've seen in a store in general. As Wendy finds out their death goes, and Aaron gets it in the head, and Ian makes it out alive with Wendy and Kevin, as the police throw them both out like they're fucking nuts. And they realize not only they're next, but they can find a way to defeat death, as the deaths are badly put together, as it was predictable like this entire fucking movie. Kevin gets a ride from his father while Wendy drives in her own car, and Ian thinks about following Wendy as she realizes Julie is next for the death list, I'll say, which is too convenient, way too convenient, by the way. Ian follows Wendy to where she's going, which is like a Civil War acting performance, but outside as Wendy arrives. Kevin finds Julie while a couple of punk-ass kids scare the horses towards where people are at, and almost kills them as it catches Julie while Kevin is trying to save her with Wendy, as one of Julie's friends gets killed and realizes Kevin is next on the list. And Wendy sees Ian there as he acts fucking delusional and monologues about how he causes the deaths until he dies by a metal machine falling apart, which was absolutely fucking stupid. 5 months later, Wendy is on a subway to Route 180, and some idiot doesn't throw away his candy bar, why would they do it? I guess it was New York. As Wendy tries to escape until Julie comes in the train and meets with her roommate and her boyfriend, and she finds Kevin on the train, and they all fucking die, which is the same boring movie I've seen in the first film and the second film. What's going to be new about this one is what my question was. Absolutely fucking nothing. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 2.6 out of 10. The deaths are badly put together, as I don't care for the characters, even Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who's a very good actress in general, but this is her worst performance in her career. This movie is badly shot, and the deaths were very predictable, as this entire fucking movie. The acting is horrible, the script was terrible, as this is the stupidest movie I've seen in history, and this is perhaps the worst in the Final Destination series, as far as I'm concerned, but we'll see about it in the next couple of shows. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, and I will be back with The Final Destination. And until then, you can cheat death, but you can't cheat it forever.